Great, awesome. So welcome everyone. Today we have a panel about how technology empowered travel industry and its applications on COVID-19 recovery strategy. So today we have with us very distinguished guests from different parts of the world. I will just briefly introduce our guests, and then we have some time for questions and answers. So first of all, I would like to introduce Mr. Mansoor Mohamed, South Africa Tourism Hub Head for Asia Pacific, Mr. Kevin Ho, Consular of World Tourism Cities Federation, Ms. Sophie Lu, CMO of Navi Travel Technology, also known as Junan Mao, and Mr. Saxon Booth from Dragon Trail Interactive. Saxon has a role of Business Development Director in Dragon Trail. First of all, thank you again for joining us today for this discussion. And I would like to start with a question for everyone. So COVID-19 had and still having a great impact on global tourism industry. Each one of you represents a different entity and has different scope of responsibilities. Please briefly introduce yourself and share with us your forecast. How and when do you see that recovery will take place? And what role the technology will play in this recovery process? So Mansoor, would you like to start?
Thank you very much, Bora, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to participate in the webinar. My name is Mansoor Mohamed, and I am the South African Tourism Hub Head for the Asia Pacific region. Technology was always relevant, but I think technology will become even more relevant now in a post-COVID-19 environment. You know, we have already started seeing how destinations around the world are adopting new digital content like virtual reality and augmented reality. And we are now witnessing worldwide adoption of online meetings, such as the Zoom meeting we are having here right today. I also think that the COVID-19 pandemic has acted as a catalyst for technological development by bringing forward what we would have expected only in 5 years' time. So bringing forward and accelerating the development of innovative new technologies. For example, you may know that in October last year, we as South African Tourism in China participated in TNTM, Dragon Train's online platform. It's a 24/7, 365 digital marketplace platform. And now suddenly there's a lot more interest in it because of COVID-19. Had it not been for COVID-19, people wouldn't have thought about this, and they are forced to think about the technology out there to enable them to continue to conduct business. So people are more interested, and this is now becoming an essential online tool. For me, I'm personally very excited about how technology will contribute to the recovery of global tourism. You know, we've seen in history the most rapid advancement comes in a time of crisis. I've witnessed that recently in 2008 at the height of the financial crisis in tourism, where we saw how Airbnb itself was born out of the 2008 global economic crisis, as people were looking at innovative ways to supplement the income. So I can assure you, while I don't have all the ideas of the solutions, how technology is going to play out, I'm very excited to see what's going to happen over the next 12 months in terms of technology adoption in this new COVID-19 environment. I just want to end off with one aspect of, I wouldn't call it technology, but innovation we are forced to think about. And that is, you know, just last year, in fact, 6 months ago, airline travel was super duper expensive. You know, the cost of fuel was very high. There's a shortage of cabin crew. There was a shortage of aircraft. People were not able to get hold of aircraft. I remember I'm responsible for both China and Japan. And for many years, we tried to do a charter flight from Japan to Africa. Today, it's a different story. Literally 3 months later, we've got so much aircraft in the world, a surplus cabin crew, low oil prices, and a demand from the traveler who may want to have point-to-point, high-end luxury travel with social distancing, where everybody on the airplane has already been pre-vetted to have a COVID-19 certificate, for example. No, so we're working with a few operators globally to see whether that has now become more feasible. So we can get 300-400 packs on a plane on a weekly basis from China to South Africa. And people will be prepared to pay a premium price for that. And it may not even be premium because costs are so low now and there's so many aircraft available to do that. So just to illustrate, there's always opportunity in times of adversity. And let's leave it there for a moment.
Great, thank you so much, Mansoor. That's a very promising start for our panel. I think from here on it's gonna get better and better. Thank you so much for sharing those insights. So now, Sophie.
Hello.
Sophie,
hi everyone.
Hi, Sophie.
Hi,
same
everyone.
question for you. Yeah.
Yes. Just hi everyone. This is Sophie Liu. I'm the CMO of Navi Travel Technology. So we are an online travel service platform that provides service for FIT travelers in China who seek help with their travel itinerary planning. So basically, we gather thousands of individual travel planners on the platform and direct them to the Chinese travelers who really need the professional for their itinerary planning. So since the COVID-19, we did lost all the travel service orders, both outbound and domestic travel. But since late April, we start to see some domestic travel requests from our applications. Most of them were like 2 to 3 days short-term travel within the province or even in their own city. So we start to see a lot of this kind of self-driving travel requests that were placed to our travel planners. So for recently, so the company, we decided we want to really focus on the domestic travel market, and we do see the sign of recovery in this domestic travel market. So, for the forecast, I think in this 2 months or probably within the 3 months, hopefully the Chinese government will open to have the cross-province travel. So there's more people really want to travel outside of their province. So otherwise, there's not. We think there's still not so many people really want to go out of province. So hopefully the policy going to be open in July and August. So there will be more domestic travel requests in our platform. So for the outbound travel in China, I think it probably takes much longer than we think. I would think probably in the late 2021 or in the early 2022. So that's basically what I think and some about our company.
Thank you so much, Sophie. I think everyone now is looking to what China does and how Chinese inbound traveling is recovering. So maybe it can show other countries how to recover in the right way. You just mentioned that you think the international travel will recover at the end of 2021.
That's most. We think the Chinese travelers, if they want to go, like if the border is going to be open or the outbound travel, the international travel for Chinese travelers, it's probably in late 2021. That's what the colleagues and the travel industry in China are talking about. We're forecasting this because even the border is going to be opened, still a lot of people they are not really open to travel outbound. They want to wait and see what's the situation internationally, what happens, and if it's going to be okay or it's going to be fine to travel outbound. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I would like now to move to Saxon. Saxon has been in the industry for a few years already, and Saxon works with many international clients on their China strategies. Saxon, what do you think? What is the forecast from how you see things at the moment, and what is in your opinion, the technology? What role the technology will play in the recovery process?
Yeah, I think it's, you can already see from the two answers that it's quite difficult to predict when tourism's going to recover. There's quite a range of views. I mean, I think it's very difficult to predict, not just because of the public health risks, the ongoing border controls, flight connectivity issues. I think there's also broader economic concerns in terms of consumer spending power after the crisis. So I think actually, correct me if I'm wrong, Sophie, but what you mean in terms of it recovering by the end of next year is that kind of recovery to the level that it was before the crisis, right? Not sort of any kind of recovery.
What we think is, if to open the borders, I think, or we can see the sign of recovery, but not before the COVID-19. Or I think it will recover from that level probably in the 2022. That's what we forecast. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I think there's a lot of views out in the market already. Some are talking about the possibility of some very, very early green shoots of recovery for some destinations around the October national holiday. That's very optimistic, I think. But, we need to see what happens with some destinations in Asia like Thailand, if they're willing to relax some of their border restrictions. And we also need to see, what China does in terms of group and package travel. And unless we see a second wave of infections, there could be some outbound happening in Chinese New Year next year. But I think it's very difficult to predict. I think in terms of technology, I think I would take a different tack to this at this point. I think we're going to talk about technology a little bit further down in the discussion as well. I actually honestly think, building new product offerings for the post-pandemic market should really be top of mind for destinations and travel suppliers before they worry too much about how they market and sell it. I mean, these things will probably happen in parallel, but I think, we know health and safety is going to be very top of mind. We know family travel is really important in the recovery phase. Health and wellness, nature and ecotourism. People really want to escape it all and kind of enjoy that well-earned holiday in a safe and healthy environment. So I think developing a set of simple, well-packaged products that speak to these quite segmented new concerns is going to be critical. And these kinds of products should really answer the questions quickly, like, what's in it for my kids in terms of cultural and educational experiences when we travel? How's it going to satisfy the different needs of the generations within my multi-generational family group? I think maintaining business as usual on the product side, but just kind of trotting out new marketing taglines or jumping on a new platform like Douyin, that kind of thing is not the answer. So I think digital and technology in this sense can help us go back to basics. I think there's some great tools online, some survey tools and research tools online. Tencent, for example, offers consumer research tools where we can actually go and start looking at about what the recovery is going to look like. What are consumers going to be looking for? What's their perception? What's their travel intention? What's their sentiment towards your destination and your product going to be? What kinds of segmentation you need to be looking at? So I think here it's, technology is really about getting back to those basics and redefining your product offer and your positioning in a way that's going to relate to these new segments and these new demands after the crisis is over. That's my answer.
Thank you so much, Saxon. Thank you so much. It's very interesting. We have very diverse participants today, which is quite exciting for me. Now I would like to Kevin, to speak with Mr. Kevin.
Yeah.
Kevin, you are one of the most experienced travel experts in this panel. So we are all very much looking forward to hear what do you think about the situation.
Okay, and the situation today is still critical to everybody. And but today, everybody, it is a time to talk about the recovery of the economy and the recovery of the tourism industry.
Would you like
Really,
to introduce yourself? Briefly introduce
really,
yourself?
you know, today we do not only have one choice, just breakout or lockdown. That is not only one choice for us anymore after the first critical period. And we have today, we have to be not waiting for the COVID-19 go over, and then talking about our recovery industry. And we should, first of all, we should use, I think we should use the new technology. And the new technology, I think is a digital, today is a digital world. And mobile online already covers every person's and every corner, and connect with everything in the great linkages. And that's composed of a big digital world. And we have to use that kind of new technologies. But today, I understand many companies and many even societies, they try to inform news informative systems for what? Well, and which is safety and security for the people. Today, for recovery of the industries, it depends on the two things. One is what kind of most competitive safety and security world to the people. First of all, is Commonwealth system, informative systems to the people. They do not like to take the risks to go everywhere. One thing. So that's kind of informative system is very important. That kind of system even informed all the people's their participations, their conditions to the world, and make the world safety and security enough for people to travel around. Today we know in this critical time still has most place and most people are still safety and security in the good conditions. We should use that kind of conditions and clarify where and which and what well is not is with some risks and where and what is, and encourage people to go. That is one thing. And the second one, we also should make messages to people. You are always welcome to everywhere, especially for the government, for the city authorities, even for the industries. The people are always welcome, and people are always friendship to each other. And then encourage people to go. People today, they cannot go. What it means is they're concerned of a lot. So we should tell the people and build up a good confidential systems to make the people like to go. Today, the world is changing a lot, technology. And that is unbelievable. That was unbelievable in 20 years ago, in 10 years ago, even in 5 years ago. The new technology even monthly innovated again and again. And so the system is not break into pieces and a small system. It should be organized in the government system is with a high level of confidence and royalties to the peoples. And then the people like to that. Today, any people use the mobile online, they know their identification, and they know their locations. They know where they should go and where they should not go. And that's kind of their all participations in their movement, in their social logistics. It can find out today where and which is the most competitive ways to go. Where and what is competitively safety and security to consumer, to be the consumers to enjoy their life. So one thing, and another one is in these 5 years, according to the tourism development in the world, and you can find many places, even the whole world changed a lot. And the cities become more beautiful, and the countryside become more beautiful, and the cultures and the environments and the natural environments attract people so much. We have the world. The map is not printed on the wall at your home. The map is under your feet. The map is under your participation. Your participation widely. That means the whole world map belongs to you. So people appreciate that. People need to travel, and our business needed to travel, and our whole life needed people to travel and make materialized logistics moving freely. Freely. So
thank you, Kevin.
What I think is we have to focus on use the new technology is our priorities to
Kevin, thank you so much. Thank you for this intro. Now, when we are all warmed up, let's move to more specific questions. First, Mansoor. Mansoor, you have a great experience of working on challenging projects in the tourism industry in various destinations around the globe. In the last few years, China had reached great progress of using technology in the travel sector. I've heard that you are a big fan of innovation and tech solutions for destination marketing. Mansoor, please share with us some examples of how South African tourism using technology to achieve its strategic goals in China.
Yes, I would love to respond to that, but before I do so, I just want to quickly reflect on something we haven't quite reflected on. The single biggest enabler of technology today, believe it or not, is actually something that we're all waiting for, and that's the vaccine. We mustn't forget that the vaccine, once it comes, is going to change everything back to normal very fast. No doubt about that. We are certain the vaccine is going to come. We are hoping it will be in the next 12 months. And we have seen some excellent trials and results from Australia, China, the US, and Europe. Everybody's working very hard at it. And we mustn't forget that that is a scenario that we need to actually anticipate as well, alongside every other not so optimistic scenario. So that to me is the number one piece of technology that I'm looking forward to. But coming back to reality, the current situation, as you know, last year, some of you may recall, we announced a big memorandum of understanding partnership with Tencent. Tencent being one of the world's leading or largest social media companies and the world's largest gaming company. And they also own the WeChat messaging platform. So we signed a strategic agreement with them. The partnership will span over 2 years and aims to position South Africa as a preferred tourism destination in China. And we're doing this through digital marketing campaigns on WeChat, as well as other platforms within the Tencent ecosystem. So what we've also asked them to do, because they work with many other destinations like Dragon Trail, we asked for as many people as possible to help us to get best practices from different platforms and how we can adapt our platform to enable a better experience for Chinese people. So we're just placing more importance on that aspect of technology now that COVID-19 is there. We're happy we embarked on that. As you know, we're exploring new partnerships with the likes of Dragon Trail and other partners out there. But one of the things that COVID-19 has done for us in terms of technology is that even before COVID-19, we moved to a sort of less labor-intensive roadshow. You know, last year we had roadshows with all manual of people moving face to face, and now we've moved to developing a mobile app to make our meetings more efficient, as an example. We employed similar type of technologies in our annual trade shows in South Africa for tourism in Durban, as well as for Meetings Africa, to make it easier for people to conduct business while they are not able to meet face to face. And the most important thing is because there's a new demand out there for new content, we are focused very hard on producing new content, new friendly content, going all digital, building a virtual reality content, augmented reality content of our key main attractions, so that we can keep South Africa in mind of the Chinese people, you know, because right now they're sitting at home gaming, attached to their mobile devices and screens, but we need to keep our destination top of mind. So while they're not going outside and seeing something on a bus billboard or on a metro station, it's something that we need to ensure that we keep them interested in our destination. And the other thing we've seen a very clear adoption of, and in a way it's also working very positive because a lot of us are becoming more efficient. You know, from the time I woke up to this meeting this morning, it's a very rapid time because I don't have to travel for about an hour or two in peak hour traffic from my home to my office. Now it's very easy. We just switch on. We just need to put on a jumper and a shirt, and there you are online, you know. So we're becoming more and more efficient. We're introducing new types of technology. We don't have all the answers yet, clearly not, but we are exploring new ways. We're watching what other destinations are doing, and we're trying to emulate them as fast as possible. So that is what we're trying to do on the technology front.
Thank you so much, Mansoor. I think I absolutely agree with what you said. We don't have all the answers yet, and that's why our life is very exciting, because otherwise it will be kind of boring. So there's always a place for new surprise, new idea, new innovation, a solution, and so on and so forth. The next one, next expert is Saxon. Saxon, Dragon Trail Interactive is a pioneer in destination digital marketing in China. The status of being a pioneer has a prestige attached to it, but also requires the hard work, constant innovative thinking, and being a step ahead of competitors. What, in your opinion, will be the next technology solution or trend that will lead destination digital marketing in China to great achievements? Saxon, please.
Sure. Well, yeah. We work right across the industry, but destinations has always been really our sweet spot in terms of who we work with. I think kind of at a more theoretical level, I think destination marketing organizations can really see themselves as a platform for driving business for their local industry. So it doesn't sound like such a big change or anything like that, but I think part of that is the marketing piece, which in China is already done mostly online, on WeChat, on Weibo, on the OTA channels and other channels. But the other part of that work that they do, facilitating business development between sellers and buyers, you know, most of that continues to be done offline at B2B events, as it has done for decades. And I think that's going to start changing because of this crisis, and it's something that should change. You know, if we see destinations as like a platform, they need to be harnessing digital platforms, not only for marketing, the marketing piece, but also to support their suppliers to continuously drive business at bigger scale into these new markets. You know, in a market like China, I think the other imperative for using digital more in the B2B space is the pace of change in the market. You know, to keep pace, you need data. For example, the growth engine in the China outbound market was already switching to second and third tier cities and what's now being called new first tier cities even before the crisis. So the pace of change really requires destinations to be much more agile, which is, I know, is a word everyone's using right now, but it's true. They need to be more agile and they need to direct their marketing sales effort in a way that really responds to the changes in the market very quickly. Digital platforms for B2B can help collect that kind of data and enable the kind of scale and agility to respond to these changes. So I think as we recover from the crisis, we're going to see a much bigger role for digital in the B2B space, working together with traditional kind of offline B2B in a mutually reinforcing way.
Thank you so much, Saxon. Now we go to Sophie. Sophie, Navi Technology, or also known as Junanmao, offers its innovative technology solution to travelers and connect them to professionals in the tourism sector. What, in your opinion, drives innovation in travel industry, and what role COVID-19 will play in generation of new ideas and technologies? Also, just before you start answering, I haven't said it, but you are really serial entrepreneur. So maybe you can share some, your previous experience, thoughts about this question.
Oh, I didn't hear the question very clear. The last question. Sorry.
Okay. I will repeat. So Navi Technology offers its innovative technology solutions to travelers and connect them to professionals in tourism sector. What, in your opinion, drives innovation in travel industry, and what role COVID-19 will play in generation of new ideas and technologies?
Okay. So, so the first question, I think, the key drive in the travel industry, I think it's always to make people's travel experience much easier and more convenient. So that's the key drive for the travel or the travel technology innovation, like navigation or the itinerary planning or other online travel agencies, B2B travel product selling platform. So that's the key. And for Navi Travel or for Junanmao, it's also we want to make the travel experience much easier. People don't have to do or have to spend a lot of time finding travel information. They can just ask the travel planners to help them to make their travel, the itinerary planning. So that's the technology part. And for us, we gather thousands of these travel planners. They on our platform, so people can find different professionals specializing different destinations. So that's the key, and that's also a very good advantage of the technology to provide for the travelers nowadays. So the second questions, what role COVID-19 were played in the generation of new idea and technology? I think it's a very big question. I'm not really sure about I think in the future after the COVID-19 period, it's very important for us, or very important for the travel companies to catch the time to get back to the market, both or the international travel market. That things it's gonna be very fast if, just said, if the vaccine's gonna come out, the travel market's gonna come back to the normal situations, and all these orders gonna come back to the normal level, and it's a very good or a very important time for companies like us to catch this time to do the marketing and to sell the product to gain back the growth at the recovery. What we said, what we are focusing on is the self-driving travel experience in China. That's what we were very underestimated before. it is a very specific experience that we can do a lot of more products that can help people to know about our platform and like to travel, and when everything's get back to normal and we can gain back the growth. So that's my answer.
Thank you so much, Sophie. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin, WTCF, World Tourism Cities Federation, is an international organization with members from different parts of the world and also different sectors. So not only cities, but also organizations. What technology-based recovery strategy do you have in mind for your organization in the near future? And what do you see how your members react to COVID-19 situation from the technology perspective?
Okay, that is also our consideration. And one consideration is the destinations, how the destinations can tell the people your destination is safety and security, and without much risk for the people to travel around. Chinese people are ready to go, and I think they love to go. For examples, this month and the last month, I traveled twice inside China. I just come back from Shanghai. And by, I think today everybody should have a digital smart mobile phones, and use that phones. You can first of all show you are without any risks for being spread by the COVID-19. And you are safety to the society. You are in good health. That is one thing. And another one is your surroundings by all the public traffic vehicles and anything. They are also without that kind of doubt. They are safety. So people need the safety surroundings and the safety environments. That is one thing. So after that, and all the participation, daily participation, and even my movement already in the digital world, and the government clarified that, and they gave me certificates. So today, China, everyone have mobile smartphones, and they have certificates. That certificates show that where they go and what they're doing. And then after I come back Beijing, and I report to the system, I say, I'm okay today, I'm okay yesterday. And then I should unnecessary to approve that kind of certificate, but that is already in the system. If I go to the hospital hospitals for some things, and they change my certificates, so that is a system. So one thing is in China, many cities and everywhere build up that kind of safety security systems to avoid some doubtings. That is already so. Today in China, you travel everywhere without questions, and the people not afraid to go out. That is one thing. And for example, today 99% of the buildings and offices already began their works, original works, and without they just one thing is just to not make the risks to go somewhere unfamiliarized, uncertainties place. So today, I think we use the digital technologies and how to use the digital, how to find out the best digital systems to show to the people, to make the destination and everywhere's a safety to the people. And then I think so today we are talking about
summarize, Kevin, if I can summarize, it's very good that you your last comment, because you're a very optimistic person and people can feel it. That safety first. This is very good. And the last question for everyone, just if you can, if each one can say in one sentence, because we all here in this panel. And this panel can be seen by participants of ATM, Arabian Travel Mart. So if you have like one recommendation in one sentence, something positive and optimistic about the travel industry and those who would like to attract Chinese travelers to visit their countries, what one recommendation, one sentence, what can you say? What would you say? Mansoor, please.
I would say the most important thing is don't forget every scenario. The most optimistic scenario is the vaccine, right? In the next 12 months, when it comes, and it's not a matter of if, but it's a matter of when, we will see probably the most rapid rebound in tourism we've ever experienced in the year, hopefully 2021 for the latest. We are very optimistic that that is going to happen. And if that happens, we will see something very exciting for the tourism industry.
Thank you so much. Saxon?
It's a tough question. I think because of this crisis, there's going to be a renewed emphasis on those kinds of words like cost effectiveness and partnerships. In the good times, these are things that we sometimes only pay lip service to, really, more than we actually put into practice. And I think that's going to change. So when we think of partnerships in travel, we're thinking on the B2B side with our travel trade partners, and on potentially on the B2C side with things like influencers. And I think digital is going to play a much bigger role, especially on that form, on the B2B side, in terms of facilitating online trade shows like Arabian Travel Mart, in terms of facilitating, destination roadshows and things like this. This is something that we're working with some of our clients on. So I think this is a big change that's happening right now, brought about by the current crisis. But I think it's also a positive thing. We're getting back to some of these things like cost effectiveness, ROI, and partnerships, which should be really an important part of our strategy in the good times or the bad times.
Yeah, I think the positive is definitely a key word for the travel industry. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here. Sophie, any thoughts, recommendation, word of wisdom?
If there's just one sentence, I would say there's not much like the company can, as a travel company, we can do. So if we want to really go back to the normal travel market, just stay alert and get around, be patient. Once the vaccine came in, and then we can catch the market to gain back the growth. That's it.
Amazing, amazing. I like the patience part. It's very useful for
Yeah.
everyone. Yeah. Mr. Kevin, last sentence.
What I want to say is we are cannot, and we should first of all make a first step out, and everybody and every company and every destinations have to think of how to make the first step work out to recover our industry. First step workout is more important than anything else.
Yes, I absolutely agree. And if I take what you said with what the Sophie said, I think it should be a very mindful first step out, but it should happen soon. On this positive note, I would like to summarize and thank each one of our distinguished guests today, our experts, in participating in this panel. Thank you so much, and I do hope that we meet again, maybe the same people on the same panel, but we will maybe discuss something that already kind of ongoing, tourism that already came back to normal and recovered. And hopefully see you everyone in China, in Beijing, Shanghai, sometime soon. Thank you for participation.